Ndi Anambra appreciates CP Adeoye's outstanding performance as he pulls out of service. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia donates 50 tons of dates for internally displaced persons in Nigeria. Another foreign scene we bring to you, Kenya dam burst killing 32. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. My name is Ajiluchukwu Okagwe. The Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim, has felicitated with Senior Pastor, Our Lord is Good Ministry, Pastor Jeremiah Wosu, on his birthday anniversary. The anniversary was marked with a Thanksgiving service, which held at the headquarters ministry, Eziweka Road, Oka Road, Awada, Obosi.
The anniversary was marked with a Thanksgiving service which held at the ministry's headquarters, Eziweka Road, Awada, Obosi. Recounting the long time of relationship with the celebrant, Dr. Ibezim commended him for standing strong in faith through the years of his little beginnings. He prayed that God, whom he has dedicated his life to, will reward him bountifully while wishing him the best of life.
He has chosen to serve the Lord with his life, with everything he has. So I know God, who sees everybody's heart, has seen his heart, and he will reward him abundantly.
Expressing gratitude to God for the journey so far, Pastor Wosu stated that the past years of his life and ministry were filled with challenges and trials, but he held on to God's words, which have become a reality in his life. He thanked God for his mercy upon his life, family, and ministry. Pastor Wosu further encouraged Christians going through difficult times never to give up on God, while appreciating Dr. Ibezim and all who honored his invitation for creating time to celebrate with him.
Ana m ekene Chineke na ụdị pụrụ iche. O nwere ihe m ga-eji kene Chineke lụlụ ihe o mee na ihe otu o si gosi onwe n'ụbọchị tata. Ihe mgbu niile anwa ngabiga, keta adị m ebezi akwa, keta adị m eruzi uju. Ọṅụ ka nnọzi n'ime ya na testimony dị na-ekene Chineke because ọzọpụtagwo m and omegwo m na ezinụlọ m ebele.
Earlier in his message titled, If Not God, the zonal pastor, Redeemed Christian Church of God, Royal Model Parish, Kwara State, Pastor Samuel Tubechukwu, reminded Christians of the place of God in their lives, pointing out that if not God who had been on their side, many would have been swallowed up in the circumstances of life.
Blessed be the Lord, who has not given us as a prey. Our soul has escaped.
Speaking to the ABS in separate interviews, the wife of the celebrant, Mrs. Linda Wosu, some of the pastors, Divine Chukudum, Kenneth Mba, some guests, Engineer Edwin Uzebu, and Mrs. Oluchukwu Anibata, described the celebrant as a selfless man who has been a source of hope and encouragement to everyone around him. They prayed that the oil of God on his life will never run dry, as they wished him more celebrations ahead.
This is just the beginning of celebration in any man's or any human being that came here today. As all of them have come to celebrate with us, that the celebration will not cease in their life in Jesus' name.
More testimonies and good wishes also poured in for the pastor from friends and well-wishers from different parts of the states. In Onitsha, Faith Onyemuchi, reporting for ABS.
The Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Adeyemi Adeoye, has bowed out of Nigeria Police after 35 years of service. The ceremony attracted Governor Chukwuma Soludo, represented by his deputy, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim, former Chairman, Police Service Commission, Chief Simeon Okeke, service commanders, traditional rulers, members of Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, and other stakeholders. Correspondent Chidima Ikeanyanwu filed in this report.
The ceremony attracted Governor Chukwuma Soludo, represented by his deputy, Dr. Onyeka Chukwuibezim, former chairman Police Service Commission, Chief Simon Okeke, service commanders, traditional rulers, members of Police Officers' Wife Association Power, and other stakeholders. Speaking at the pull-out ceremony, the Women and Social Welfare Commissioner, Ifi Obinabo, extolled CP Adoye for his love towards fighting for the vulnerable women and children in the state and prayed God to continue to protect his family for the work he has done. The Women Affairs boss, who teased the CP to approve pending cases from their ministry before finally bailing out of office, noted that she is confident that he will uphold the legacy and fight for the vulnerable anywhere he finds himself.
Let me assure you that those things you did wasn't stupidity. You were paying huge amount of money into the spiritual bank of your family. As you are protecting, I don't want to say protected, because I'm still getting surprised that you sign before you leave. As you are protecting the vulnerable in Anambra State, in your generation, lineage, you will not have a vulnerable person in Jesus' name. And nobody is going to humiliate anybody that has to do something with you, because you are a strong voice. You say no to that, and that no will be permanent spiritually, physically. In Jesus' mighty name, I've prayed.
Earlier, a pull-out parade was held in his honor at Alex Ekweme Square, Awka, in line with police tradition, while the pull-out ceremony took place at International Conference Center, Awka.
Journalist NUJ Anambra State Council has organized a Youth Week Symposium on Gender-Based Violence, GBV. This is an effort to join voices and raise awareness on GBV while also empowering journalists to understand and better report issues around it. The Youth Week Symposium, with them unveiling the spectrum on gender-based violence and empowering the youth for collective action, held at Godwin Ezimo International Press Center, Awka. Correspondent Kenechukwu Chukwudi filed in this report.
It had stakeholders, lawmakers, government officials, and mass communication students drawn from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, Igbariam, and Paul University, Awka, in attendance. The member representing the Idemili South constituency at the State House of Assembly, Honorable Ebuka Igwe, the National Publicity Secretary of All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, Mr. Ejimofo Opara, and the chairman on the occasion and former member of Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Emeka Afoka, all commented on the efforts the state has made to curb the menace, which includes enacting the Violent Against Persons Law and setting up specialized courts to try offenders.
Most times, what people feel so proud to report cases is they want to protect their person, they want to protect their identity. But there's an assurance that their identity will be protected. There is nobody who will report cases of gender-based violence that will be exposed to the public. Just today, after today's seminar, people will encourage people have their intent about the best approach when it comes to gender-based violence.
The head of Department Information and Communication Technology, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Dr. Ike Chukwume, in a lecture titled "Using ICT to Combat Gender-Based Violence," profiles solutions on how ICT can be used to apprehend gender-based violence offenders and productively engage the youths. In a keynote lecture, an executive assistant to Governor Chukwuma Soludo on women and social welfare, Ms. Hope Okoye, highlighted some different ways social and physical violence can be targeted to a particular gender, such as sexual assault and disinheriting women, stating that Anambra State government has made notable progress in protecting victims of sexual assault.
Actually, through life, generally, this is a since our audience is youth, mostly mass communication students from the two universities, and these are journalists we try to make them understand they do know how when you are reporting cases of violence, especially when it has to do with children, victims,
The chairman of NUJ Anambra State Council, Dr. Odogu Emeka Odogu, in a welcome remark, explained that the media, as the moral conscience of the society, holds a major responsibility to educate journalists so that they can become voices, advocates, and ambassadors against the increasing
But I'm
trend.
encouraging you, as advocates of freedom, advocates of free press, champions of digital era. Those free time you use to do some of those things that are not necessary. Use them to champion the cause of freedom in society. And with this, there will be a better society for all of us.
Some participants, including Mr. Chizaram Ehurumadu of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, and Miss Gloria Okoro of Paul University, Awka, explained that the program was impactful and they are empowered as budding journalists to make a difference.
The outgoing Anambra State Police Commissioner C.P. Adeoye has continued to receive commendations for his outstanding performance and achievement in Anambra State. Paul Ezoke covered the pull-out parade and reception and brings us details.
Speaking at the reception organized in his honor after a pull-out parade at Alex Ekwueme Square, Awka, the Anambra State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Mrs. Ife Obinabo, said CP Adeoye made a significant contributions in the fight against violence against women, child abuse, intimidation, and suppression of vulnerable people through prompt response. She recalled that he never hesitated to mobilize operatives during emergencies to rescue victims from exploitation. Mrs. Obinabo expressed confidence that his legacy would stand the test of time and benefit more people.
So, Mr. Commissioner, I cannot thank you enough on behalf of Omuwani Anambra. You were just there for us throughout this period.
Also speaking, the Anambra State Chairman of Association of Heads of Federal Establishments, Chief Chijioke Okechukwu, said CP Adeoye is a man of impeccable character, integrity, and humility with a large heart. Chief Okechukwu noted that his hard work and dedication to duty impacted positively on the activities of the State Command of Nigeria Police Force.
He has everything a man needs. Very good, very perfect gentleman, everything. So, we in the association, we are going to miss him a great deal. And so many people wrote in our platform that we are going to miss him. And it's from the depth of their heart that they said it. This is a man that knew he was going to pull out from service this May.
In their separate speeches, the traditional ruler of Obosi community, Igwe Chidubem Iweka, and his Umeri counterpart, Igwe Ben Emeka, said the outgoing police commissioner entrenched professionalism and efficient service delivery in policy without seeking gratification or compromising principles.
I want to thank God. It is tears of joy that I nearly had. The people of Anambra State, generally, especially the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Masoludo, is going to miss CP Adeoye very, very greatly.
The book, History of CP Adeoye Leadership Principles, was unveiled during the ceremony. Earlier, the pull-out parade at Ekwueme Square attracted many dignitaries, including Governor Chukwuma Soludo, represented by his deputy, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim.
The federal government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has handed over 50 tons of dates donated by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation for onwards distribution to internally displaced persons, IDP, and victims of natural disasters across the country. ABS Abuja Bureau Chief Priestess Ikwi Echide tells us more.
Speaking at the official presentation of the dates fruits, which is otherwise known as Debino in Hausa language, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Adamu Lamua, expressed confidence in the ministry, which he believes knows better in terms of distribution to the needies. He said the relationship between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia did not just start with the donation as there has been decades-long brotherly bond between the two nations.
The relation between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia goes beyond donations. We have had engagements both at the political level and at the business engagement level, business partnership. So this is just a gesture.
Contributing, the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Abel Eniton, who received the humanitarian aid on behalf of the ministry, assured that they would do the needful to ensure it gets to the intended beneficiaries.
For this particular item to be delivered to the ministry for onward distribution to the needy in the camps and outside the camps. And we assure you that we do the needful. We make sure that the distribution is properly done and the intended beneficiaries actually have these items.
Earlier, the donation had been presented by the Saudi ambassador to Nigeria, Faisal Al-Mahdi, was received on behalf of the Nigerian government by the Deputy Director of the Middle East and Gulf Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Murtala Jimo. Making the presentation, Al-Mahdi said the Saudi government, through King Salman's Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, has provided necessary humanitarian assistance to Nigeria in different sectors of the economy. The ambassador said it was part of the country's continued commitment to alleviating the suffering of the people in distress. In Abuja, Princess Ekwi Ajide reporting.
And to some foreign news. More than 40 people have died in Kenya after a dam burst following heavy rains and flooding. Homes were swept away and roads were cut off after the dam burst in Kamuchiri village in western Kenya. Nakuru governor said 42 are dead, which is a conservative estimate as there are still more in the mud. More than 100 people have been killed in the floods that have devastated parts of Kenya in the last month. Rescue teams are digging through the mud in search of survivors in the village near the small town of Maimuyu, about 60 kilometers from the capital, Nairobi. Of the 42 bodies recovered so far, 17 were children, according to Police Commander Stephen Kiru. More than 130 people have been displaced by the floods, with many people taking shelter in schools. Heavy rains have also pounded neighboring Tanzania and Burundi. At least 155 people have been killed in Tanzania since January. In Burundi, nearly 100,000 people have been displaced. Now to some sports news. The Premier League club West Ham United is prepared to sign Victor Boniface for a club record 70 million euro. West Ham incoming transfer record is 50 million euro, which it splashed to sign another striker, Sebastian Haller. Victor Boniface has attracted interest from across Europe after his big role in Bayern Leverkusen's historic season, during which they have won a first-ever Bundesliga crown and remain unbeaten in 46 games. The club is also in contention for the German Cup and the Europa League. Boniface also has been linked with top Italian clubs, Juventus and Napoli, among many other European clubs. The Super Eagles striker cost Leverkusen 20 million euros when he signed from last summer from Belgian club Union Gelois. His transfer market value is now 50 million euros. Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, has paid our last respect to our deceased staff, late engineer Callistus Ogunjiofor, when his remains were laid at his father's compound in Umogu village, Okija, Ihiala local government area of Anambra State. The burial, which was well attended by staff of ABS, members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, members of the Catholic Youth Organization of Nigeria, SION, student unions, among others, who all bore witness to late engineer Ogunjofor's noble memory of hard work and loyalty. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike filed in this report.
Late engineer Ogunjiofor, aged 28, was until his death a staff of the engineering department of ABS and a serving corps member in Rivers State. He was loved and adored by his friends, colleagues, and management of the ABS because of his dedication and innovativeness at work, as explained by the managing director of ABS, Sachido Obidiegu. The ABS boss, who was represented by head of engineering of the establishment, Engineer Paul Okoye, while consoling the family, said that the late engineer Ogunjofo was an asset to the station and asked the family to find solace in the fact that he lived an upright lifestyle and brought dignity to the family during his short stay on Earth. Earlier during a homily, the vicar, St. Thomas Aquinas Parish, GRA, Oka, Reverend Parapasco Nnadiofo, said that even though Ogunjofo's death is a sad one, asked the family to find hope in the testimonies about his life. Father Nnadiofo pointed out that one's physical age is not what God pays attention to, but one's ability to live according to his will and fulfill his purpose as his child. Therefore, challenged Christians to remain steadfast in their belief in God at all times. Appreciating those who rallied round them in their moment of grief, his elder sister, Mrs. Jane Francis Okafor, said it was too difficult saying goodbye to her brother as he is the only son of his parents. Before his interment, late Ogunjofo was dressed in his NYSC uniform and his coffin draped with the Nigerian flag, symbolizing that he is a hero as he died serving his country.
Late Chief Amobi Albert Obikili from Okwu-Ifite, Agulu, and Nocha Council area have been described by family members as a man of strong Catholic faith, peaceful and loving during his lifetime, as he impacted strong values on his children and those around him. Chief Obikili, who died at the age of 91, was given a fanfare funeral as many from far and near came to pay their last respect. Correspondent Kenechukwu Chukwudi tells us more.
Speaking during his funeral event, son of the deceased, Chief Joseph Obikeli, revealed that the father served God dedicatedly through being a catechist in the Catholic Church and inculcated strong values on him and other children, advising all to live peacefully.
When he was alive, he served God. He's like was a catechist in my village. So people will recognize him very well. He's a good man.
A daughter, Mrs. Chinonye Eze, remarked that the father invested his energy and time in the things of God, especially at St. James Church. Being a catechist, a chorister, learning being prayerful, determined and focused from the late father, urging all to live uprightly as death is inevitable.
Ana ọkọkwa n'ugbo Chineke. Ana etu ahụ si wee kọọ n'ugbo Chineke ka Chineke si wee kọọ n'ugbo ya. Ọ tara ilu ọfụma. O fere Chukwu ọfụma. Ana ozigbola anyị ụzọ ya. Mana anyị ụzọ ahụ o ziri anyị. Ka isi ụzọ ahụ ka anyị hapụ ịzọpụ siri wee gawa. Wele aka aha o nyere anyị mgbe ọ nọ n'ụwa. O wele ya wee zọpụ ụmụ anyị ka anyị hapụ ịha.
A daughter-in-law, Mrs. Nkiru Obikeli, noted that the late Chief Obikeli left a good legacy behind, especially in being peaceful, godly, and loving.
He's a peace-loving man. He doesn't like where there's conflict. He's just a peace-loving man. He's not toxic. He likes where there's peace, and he left good legacy behind. He tried to leave good legacy. He tried to bring the family together for everybody to have peace and all.
a relative, Mr. Josephat Obikeli, explained that a lot of people born witness to the good life deceased lived. Even priests in serve under as captives, especially in his effort that those who are sick are attended to spiritually according to their Catholic faith. Some friends who came to condole with the family, including Chief Ejike Udaha and Mr. Henry Obara, thanked God for the longevity granted Chief Albert and the good legacies he left behind, as they urged the family to keep waxing strong while also praying for blessings upon them. The funeral ceremony, as customary to Igbo culture, witnessed high number of condolence visitors, masquerade display and music performances.
Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page, follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service, subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Oka, and on X at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at absradiotv.com. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. The main point again before we go. Deputy Governor Ibezim has felicitated with Pastor Nwosu on his birthday. And the Anambra have appreciated CP Adeoye's outstanding performance as he pulls out of service. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has donated 50 tons of date for internally displaced persons in Nigeria. And on the foreign scene, Kenya dam burst, killing 42 people. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. That's the end of the news, as edited by Blessing Ijedibia. My name is Ajulu Chukwu Okabwe, saying thank you for watching. Have a pleasant night rest.